can, why would you still entertain it?
I've seen the relationships on the opposite end where the woman runs a relationship and it's a disaster. It's a shit show. But it's like, I get it. Women are excelling their careers. They're making money. They want to feel more empowered. They want to call shots. But does it get you the outcome that you ultimately want? Because at the end of the day, it's all about outcomes. It's not about feelings. It's about what's the outcome that you ultimately want, and does what you're doing get you there?
What I
No. What I'm saying is, okay,
she don't want to build a man
she
up.
has to be
Why does your ambition
motivational,
matter?
ambitious.
Why does my ambition
matter?
Right. Because you're
Why does
using
your
that
ambition
for a
matter
reason.
to a man?
It does.
You have to be in. You have to want to be better every day.
I'm asking why. I'm not saying whether.
At a base level, the definition of ambition, you have to want to do better, be better. If I want to stay in the exact same place I was when you met me, we're not gonna make it.
You'd be surprised.
I can't be the exact same
men
person.
want women to have purpose
Okay,
too.
I have to grow.
We do. So my whole point is, all right, I'm ambitious, and whoever's in my space, I'm going to uplift, right? So
Right.
I'm only saying you're ambitious, you're
Right.
driven, you're motivated.
Okay.
Your friends, your husband, whoever's in your space,
Right.
you're uplifting. But then before you said that you don't want to build or uplift the man because he's the unicorn and
not
he's
what I
already.
said.
Well, I mean, because you're ambitious and motivating, because he's in your space.
Right.
By proxy, you're going to uplift him.
Yes,
You're
I'm
going to
gonna
build
uplift
him.
him.
You're going to help
Yes.
get him to higher levels.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
She's not saying she wants to build him from the ground up, though.
Well, no, we never said ground up. No, we never said.
Right.
No one's building nobody from ground up.
No,
we should never do that.
I think my
Not- I mean, ground
statement
up is
from
like-
previously is being misconstrued.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, you just asked me to list the skills to retain a man. I just
Right.
listed 5.
Right.
We're arguing with
But all those were
ambition,
really,
so I just
but
I
they
just
were
listed
really,
4.
those were really good 5 skills.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Those
then
are the
Amani was
skill sets.
suggesting those same skill sets that you've now acquired,
Right.
are they going to benefit him? Right?
Yes.
And because they do benefit him, that means you are building him too, right?
Right.
Right. But
So
you
what
don't-
is the problem?
But you say you
There's
don't
no
want to build a
problem.
man.
I did not say that.
She's not.
But you know, and the previous statement was never build a man from ground up. That was never the build a man ground up statement. It was just more so
Right.
like my job is like, all right, well, you're at a good place
I said
in
I
life.
would not want to build a man who was worse off than me. That's what I said. As a partner, I would not want to build a man who's worse off than me. As a friend, I would build a man who's worse off than me. But he would never be my partner because I don't feel like I would succeed in a partnership with a man who is worse off than me. I just
But
don't
if he
think
was
he
at the
would
same
survive.
level with you, you wouldn't be in a relationship with him.
If he was
the
at
same level?
my level or higher, I
You would
would.
consider
That's
him.
fine.
Right.
But if you're below level, we're not going to succeed.
So if
I'm
you're
not
with a-
entering something for
If
failure.
you're with a man and y'all start off at the same level, but you
Right.
end up excelling more
Before
than
he,
him.
well, we'll say now more before he does, maybe.
Before he does.
excelling before he does.
Now you up, and he might have a few more years to be
Are
up.
we
but
already
you
in that
up.
It was
partnership
cool.
at that point?
No,
If we're
yeah,
already,
yeah,
if we're
yeah.
already in the
It was cool when y'all both worked at Chipotle,
Right.
but now you gotta upgrade. You don't
Right.
work at Chipotle no more.
You right? Now I work at Saks.
You right.
No,
So-
yeah. So I would stay and
Yeah.
I would help build you. If for a long time period you did not
So
get
there's a
any-
clock.
I would say
No, there is a clock.
See,
Yes,
that's
for
a
a
different story.
long
Now we
time.
got a
Yeah,
different
so if for a
story.
long time,
Friend.
in the
Friend.
short term and mid term, I would help build you up. Yes, I would.
Friend.
What?
Be careful with that, though.
I said what I said. I would help build you up.
That's beautiful.
Long term,
Be careful with
long
that.
term. if a few years go down and you make no movement, you are not getting better. Then I'm not staying. You're
You
not
think-
getting better.
You think men do that to women?
It doesn't matter what men do to women.
I'm asking you. You think men put women on that same clock?
Some men
so-
do,
yeah.
not all. Some men.
I
I mean,
Some
yeah,
men,
to
I would
be
say
honest-
this, though. I
yeah,
would say
sorry,
this.
go ahead,
Some
go ahead.
men like seeing women a little bit under them, too. It gives them that ego boost that they need. It makes them feel more in charge.
It's easier to make them submissive, which is what y'all
because
want.
they're providing a little bit.
But I also think
They're
that we all in
providing a
control
little
of
bit
that,
more.
though.
So, and some men want, not all men have to be like this.
But I mean,
But a lot of men, even with the whole thing, oh, I should make more money than the woman. Like, there are men like that. So, yes.
But that's
I
what you
do
want,
think-
though. You said you want the money and the orgasm, so you want the man to have the money, right? You want
Yeah.
him to have more than you.
I'm not saying it's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, in the context of what we're talking about, like, men like having that little one-up on women in that way. It makes them feel more powerful. And men do want
She's
that.
I wanna
basically giving
dig
the
into
reason
that.
why.
I want to dig in. Yeah, I do.
she's basically giving the reason why y'all wouldn't put us on a clock, but we would put y'all on one.
I mean, it's a different story. I don't think men look at being in a better position than a woman as I got to one up. We look at it when we get to a position of being able to provide. we think about how many people we can save and help. We don't really think about one-upping anybody.
How would
we
you
just
feel
think about
if your woman made $1 million a year and you were making like 96,000 a year?
I mean, I think most men might feel emasculated in that position
Yes.
because, like, you don't,
I'm
you're
just
not
saying,
raised.
she a CEO and you a specialist.
No, it's fine. But at the end of the day, is she playing the part of submitting to you still and allowing you to still feel
You
the
are
role
rare.
of a leader?
I'm
I'm just
talking
saying
about-
because
No, he's
No, that's a good question.
No.
I'm just saying because at the end of the day, you got to look at like what makes relationships stable and happy, right? If you make more money and you shove it in your man's face, you're just gonna emasculate him.
But no, we're
And-
not talking about a woman that will shove her in their face. They just make more money, and that happens sometimes.
And the man still leads the $96,000.
But are you still allowed? But see, right?
He
'cause
called the
it's
shots?
hard for you to make more money and then let him call the shots, right? For let him because like
That
you
might
making the
be
money,
true in
and if
some
he tell you you can't buy
cases.
that bag this weekend, you're gonna look at him crazy.
I could
So
buy
Oprah's
myself.
man-
You go ahead.
But that's the thing. Oprah's man, Stedman. Oprah went to the store to buy cats. Stedman was like, "Yo, you
That
only
man
get,
ain't broke though.
you only like, he
Look up
ain't he
that-
got
he
He
Oprah
ain't-
money."
ain't
He
billionaire,
Oprah.
but he also
He's
not
broke
broke.
compared
That's
to
a big
Oprah.
difference.
But he's not broke.
Oprah makes
He
almost
could
$1
buy
billion.
her. She
To
is
Oprah,
a
he's
billionaire.
broke.
She
To
worth
Oprah,
$3
he's
billion
broke.
to be specific.
Okay.
However,
Stedman not worth no
Stedman,
billions.
He's a millionaire.
He's not worth no billion.
stop.
First, but he still got money.
Why you catching
No.
straight bullets,
And listen to what I'm about to
Stedman?
say. Watch this.
Yeah, go ahead, run it.
They went to the pet store. Oprah's like, "Yo, I want to buy a bunch of cats." Stedman like, "We getting 2." Now Oprah can buy the whole pet franchise. She's buying all the PetSmart. She's buying every
Turn
animal
around, she
in the
bought PetSmart.
world.
She said, now how many
He
cats?
like, "Yo, we only getting 2 cats. That's it." And that was it. He stood on what he stood on, and she went with it.
Well, you see how their relationship.
But
was,
this
so
is the
maybe I should
thing.
take some notes.
Even though she's up $2 billion plus on this man, he still called the shot. And my thing is, in your scenario, if a man's making 96,000 and a woman's making $1 million, is the woman still going to be submissive to that man?
There is a possibility, depending on the woman. Depending on the woman.
I'm just saying, but you gotta look at what men want, right? That's a conversation. We're exchanging wants. I'm being a little bit of what did they call it? I'm looking for what you look for, what you want, and you're looking for what I want, and we're trying to compromise to best fit, our partner's desires, and it's just like.
Do you y'all
This is my train of
inherently
thought.
believe that relationships have a power dynamic?
Yes.
Yes.
What is it?
Wait, what was the question?
Depends on the relationship
believe
again. And a lot of it is
There's a
based
power
on
dynamic.
finances, to
Power
be
dynamic.
honest.
So whoever
I
makes
just
the
spoke
most
on
money
that.
gets to call the shots.
In most cases, it seems that way.
Are we speaking in general terms
I'm
or
thinking
specific?
Wait, so we're saying there's a power dynamic in relationships.
Yes.
Right? Traditionally speaking,
No,
the
I wouldn't say
breadwinner
that either.
was the leader of the household. Right?
He's the provider.
Yeah.
The breadwinner.
she's
I
the
mean,
provider.
And like when he
she-
makes the decisions.
She's saying, and whoever it is that makes the most money is the person that calls the shots.
I
It
don't
doesn't-
think I
If
shouldn't
that's
have
how
said
you
that.
set it up.
I will say, first of all, no, I don't believe just one person is supposed to call the shots. This is again a partnership,
But you only
and I
have
feel like that's the
one
aspect that keeps
driver
on
to
being
the
missed.
car.
And, man, we
Who
can
has-
switch seats sometimes.
Right,
So
but,
we
then,
on a road
but at
trip.
that point now he's a driver.
But somebody
or
has to
she's
have a
driver.
vision.
But
Somebody
that's
has
the partnership. We're taking turns.
Somebody
We're
has to
all
have a-
both bringing something.
Somebody has to have a vision, though.
Both people can have visions, and
Well,
you
we
come
both submit to the
together
same shared
and
vision,
you
yeah.
make that into something that is solid for your household. Like it's not
Right,
just has to be
no.
one or the other. This is why it's supposed to be a partnership, and it doesn't always have to be monetary. These are emotional things. These are physical things, mental things. We're supposed to be both bringing
But
something.
see, the problem gets into the ring when you say, okay, finances and fidelity are the highest reason divorce happens, and it's a partnership, but a lot of people don't want to both bring money to the table.
That's not always the case.
It's
But
hardly
one
the case.
is always going to bring more than the other. That's just the dynamics. Whether it's the woman
So
or
are
the
you
man.
asking like if there's a disagreement, who makes final call?
Inherently, there will be disagreements.
Yeah.
There just
and then
will
it's
be.
and then how do you make the who makes the final call?
Yeah.
That's something y'all got to work through together.
But okay, for instance, you start a business. You started this business with your partners, and you guys labeled who's the CEO, who's CTO, whatever. You labeled whoever the CEOs because you guys trusted that they'll be a good fit for that position. So you guys have a situation where you guys need to make a decision, and at the end of the day, you guys, because you entrusted that person to that position, relinquished your power to them to make decisions for you. Right, but that's because that's trust. That's the whole relationship, right? So when you do that, that's what you're submitting. That's the submission, right? You're trusting your partner to make those decisions on your behalf, right?
Certain
And
ones, yes.
Well, yeah, when you're in a relationship with that person, I guess that's the hope, right?
Yeah,
Like,
certain decisions will be made on behalf of
that's the whole thing. Like, I'm the CEO of the business. Like, I'm gonna make all the decisions. You put me in that position.
I
If you
don't
voted
look
or
at it that
when
way.
you committed to the situation.
I don't look at it that way.
Do you think that in general, like when y'all have conversations with y'all friends, y'all homegirls, family members, women in specific, do women have an issue with relinquishing control?
Depends on the man we're dealing with.
Right.
But
It depends on the man, and it's like if you make the right choice to pick the right man, then you would relinquish.
But what is
Correct.
your criteria for assessing if this is the right man?
That's teach their own. I mean,
and
I
that's
think-
all about discernment, as you kept on saying,
Exactly.
and what works for you.
If she has bad decision making skills, boo hoo. That's not my problem. You know what I mean? But no, but for real, like if you had a sermon, then the whole point is like you should find a man, whatever man you deciding to be with, only decide to be with him if you believe you can be submissive. Other than that, don't do it. Right? As a woman, it's like because the only point,
Fair.
the only way the relationship would be successful long term is if you are submitting. So if you don't feel like you can, why would you still entertain it?
I've seen the relationships on the opposite end where the woman runs a relationship and it's a disaster. It's a shit show. But it's like, I get it. Women are excelling their careers. They're making money. They want to feel more empowered. They want to call shots. But does it get you the outcome that you ultimately want? Because at the end of the day, it's all about outcomes. It's not about feelings. It's about what's the outcome that you ultimately want, and does what you're doing get you there?
Mm-hmm. It's 100%. That's a deep one. What's a butt man? Bah!
Y'all need to
That's
just
a
get a
bar.
I
I know. A butt man didn't make it today.
Like, y'all just need a button.
That's why
But
he
it
keeps
is
saying that.
that's the truth. Everything we're doing is about the outcome. You know, I mean, you got to enjoy the journey, but you're doing it because you're looking for the outcome.
But there are some men that like women who a little.
That's not the majority, though.
But I'm just saying there. Are
I don't believe
some.
that's. I think it's like 2%.
What?
The
men.
percentage exists.
It's 2% of men
What? What?
that would that
Like
want
a
to
more
submit to a
Don't
controlling
want to
woman.
be held by their nuts?
Yeah,
some men that's
that want to
not
submit to a
Yeah,
woman.
no, we
yeah.
do-
And
we
this
do-
is the-
we
this
do
is
got-
the delusion.
We do got the cuck boys out there.
The
That
men
are
don't
cool
I'm
wanna be-
with
not
that.
delusional for thinking that there's a small percentage
No,
of
I'm
men
not
who
talking
want
about
to.
you.
No,
I'm not
I'm
talking about you.
You're
I'm
talking
saying-
about you. Talking about the
saying in
delusional men
general.
out there, the cuck boys.
What?
Men don't want to be held by their nuts by their women.
Some men do. We got a whole show for
Not
that.
the majority.
Not the
And
majority.
that's not
though.
even what
And
I
agree.
even
No,
put out
I'm
there.
I'm
Like,
making jokes though. I'm just saying it's a small subset of niggas that's cool with that. Most of the men don't. They're not raised to be like that.
all right. Anybody got a time check?
Yeah. What is time?
9:45.
Oh my God! It's 9:45.
Yeah.
What time we start?
Oh. My phone died.
It's still going. I appreciate it.
You did good.
Oh.
Or over.
All right. Let me just get closing
Let's
thoughts real
close
quick.
out. Let's close out. Let's close out.
Let's start with the women again.
Here, let me.
Oh. Don't sound so disappointed.
No.
Like Jesus. We were fine.
No, y'all did great.
Huh?
I go to the bathroom. I can hold him.
You been chugging those joints.
I'm a little lit.
Oh shit.
That's
I
up.
did not eat today.
This is our first
You ain't
time
eat
in this
all day?
studio.
I ate a little bit.
The other
but
studio is a
that's
little
like-
better, but this does have
Are you
space,
saving
though.
it for park, or are you just like?
I just wasn't really hungry.
The
I
day
wasn't
just-
feeling well today.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Drinking tea,
Yeah.
lemon and stuff. But I'm good.
All
Appreciate
right.
you still coming through.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, let's do
closing
it.
thoughts. Let's, y'all heard a lot today. From the statistics about why men have left the dating field, about various things. I just want to get some closing thoughts on how y'all feel about dating moving forward. Any solutions that you would prescribe?
Let's roll with that. Like, what are y'all thoughts on solutions, right, to the problem on both sides? Maybe let's do that.
I think people could focus a little bit more on equity.
Mm.
Like, just not so much what can I. Well, I mean, you should look for a person who will help you grow, will better you, will better life, and do life with someone together. But I think people also need to take the time to say, like, what am I doing to better someone else's life?
Mm-hmm.
And
I like
people
that.
should,
Yeah.
like you really, I think a lot of people think about how can this person better my life?
Right.
How can this person better my life? How can this person better my life? But not enough people take a lot of time to think about what am I doing for others to better their life? I think that there is a lot of, the like city girl mentality right now that I think is what a lot of men think women like
all women want.
All women want and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I do think deep down, those are just like lyrics that we like to sing. Like it's like I think deep down we could be a little bit more in touch with how can it be more equal? How can I better someone else's life just as much as I want them to better mine? I think that would be like the solution.
Okay.
I think that's the solution as well. Oh, can you ask the question one more time?
It's in general,
It's
like
closing-
what's the
Closing thoughts on like
closing thoughts.
what
Like,
you heard today and what you think solutions should be. So 2-part situation.
I think, while I do agree with the whole we need to value each other thing, I think from these conversations, I think men need to think about more what women bring to the table sometimes as well. I think everything should not be monetary, although money is important. I think it needs to be the emotional aspect, the foundational aspects and everything as well, versus just like, oh, I can lose this. I mean, but I brought this as well. A woman does bring a lot of value to men's life, whether you believe it or not. And I feel like that was missing a lot when men were speaking today.
Me, you talking to me?
No, we value women to the utmost for sure.
I don't always feel like we are seen as valuable, and that's in society as well.
We can give constructive criticism without diminishing your value. I think the difference is that like some people have a hard time taking in that constructive criticism. It's like, it's more like try to get it together. Come on, we're a team.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
on.
obviously y'all are valuable. Men are trying to get with
And I
y'all.
also-
Like we love y'all to the heart. Men will never leave y'all for sure. You know what I mean? Right now we beating our
Nah,
meats,
some men
watching
will.
OnlyFans
But
because
I will-
they away from y'all.
But I also wanted to be more focused on partnership just versus like one single person, similar to what Diamond said. I feel like partnership is really important in any romantic dynamic, and sometimes that's what it lacks overall. Like people are just like, oh, this, or it's one side. Like, how do we come together as partners to make it beneficial for us both, our family, what we want to build for each other? I think that's really important, and I feel like that's missing in a lot of conversations. Nobody talks about partnership anymore, and that's what a relationship is. And that's how I feel.
Gotcha. Mike, anything from you?
Yeah, I think about it and I say that in today's day, I think, what can we use as a good closing thought?
Talk from the heart. Yeah.
I am talking from my heart. I'm just trying to think that I just think that I had something I wanted to say and then I just kind of lost my thought. All right, give me a second.
Armani, you go.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right.
There you go.
I think, I've heard some things today. Obviously, women want to be valued more or felt like they're valued more. I think, personally, there's improvement on both sides. Like, I think men need to do a better job performing better. I think men need to work harder. They need to get in shape. They need to become, they just need to become like men again. Like, we need to, make men men again.
Make men again.
I definitely believe in that because there's not a high amount of men that are performing at that high level, so women don't have much to choose from. On the opposite side, for women, I think that there is an idea of entitlement. I think there is an idea of delusion to a degree of like where men should be versus where they actually are, and the idea of like back in the day when our parents were growing up, I think people were just more understanding of each other's situations. I look at my white counterparts, white people I went to school with, and they get married young. They get married straight out of college, and they just build together, and they move in, and they shack up, and they go and they build together. It's not about he got to make this amount of money or he got to do X, Y, Z out of the gate. It's just like, yo, let's just do life together, and we'll figure it out. And those, to me, are the best partnerships the best relationships because you're building with each other. You're going through this journey with each other, and you're uplifting each other. And I think the opposite end of the spectrum in Black culture is just like, if a man can't pay all my bills, if he can't provide for me, he's not as useful to me. I can live life by myself. I can do all bad by myself. So why do I need a man? So I hope that Black families can come back together, that men and women can come back together, and we can create Black families and like thrive in a society. Because I think that's what's ultimately missing. So that's my monologue at the end. But thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Not you skipped over Mike.
Yeah,
Mike
no,
got
I forgot. A small snippet of it came back.
Oh.
A small snippet of it came back, but I was just gonna say, my perspective more so to Amani's point is that I think social media does have a real impact on how we view what we think relationships are supposed to be like. And if we just all kind of drop social media, because comparison is the thief of joy, and really just looked into putting in effort. Regardless, I think the thing is just like, we have this stigma of like, they got to be better than me or this, that, and the fourth. And I just think that like, like you say, we're a partnership. We all should work. It's going to be work regardless of how you look at it. And so is that if we remove all the stigma about she got to be this or he got to be this, and just like, who am I willing to work with them and build my reality, build my peace, I think we'll be better. But until we start to get to that point, it's gonna be a tough ride for sure.
It's gonna be that 50%.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's tough, but yeah.
All right, there it is.
But they won't tell you. You feel me? It's your boy King Mozzie.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.